Scorpio, welcome into your reading. We're going to do a general reading, so take the energy only if they chime with you. But we're going to be doing the reading for the date of September the 24th through October the 1st. We're going to be doing the revealing of the cards over the top of the death card, the archetype death in the tarot, because it is associated with Scorpio. We'll get into your read here, see what the cards have to say. And hopefully it is going to be a good reading. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, Hades in Greek myth, so god of the underworld. So we have the Queen of Cups in the masculine position here, or the active position, the first position. The Queen of Cups talks about mystery, intrigue, the insights, deep shadows, Okay, yeah, and then it's followed by the Three of Pentacles, then the Five of Wands, and I'll pull one more here, and maybe we can end the Tower in reverse. Okay, Scorpio. It appears that maybe, okay, happy home, happy life. Okay, so like I said, we have this dominating energy, the Queen of Cups, and I'm getting kind of this feeling that you're needing to know an answer. There's a secret, there's a mystery, something's being withheld. The reason I say that is because it's followed by the Three of Pentacles here, okay? And the Three of Pentacles is a sharing of ideas type card, okay? There's a gentleman on the pedestal there, or on the stool standing up, and he's looking down at these other two, and they're just kind of sharing ideas about something. So there has been a non-reciprocation of ideas about something, okay? And this is in the recent past, so we'll look at the Five of Wands as well, because I feel like there's an energy that's not been reciprocated, and it's got you, I don't know, maybe putting off a little bit of something here. What are we putting off here? Let's take a look at that. The Five of Wands. Okay, so this is different. We got two opposing energies. Scorpio, we've got cooperation in one energy, and then non-cooperation in the other energy. What is going on here? Let's see. And then we got a Tower in the very end, in the fourth position, talking about maybe putting off a Tower. This is kind of avoiding, it's an avoidant type energy. Let's look at this Three of Pentacles in reverse. Like I said, I feel like this is a situation where there's not been any reciprocation to you or for you. Disharmony, misalignment, poor collaboration. Yeah, a lack of recognition, inefficiency, disconnect. Okay, and it's got you to where you've put something off. Because the Tower in the upright is what it is, you know. It's the foundation crumbling down, crumbling away, but you've put something off in the past. Okay, so we're going to move on into the present here, your present moment. So in the present moment, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, Knight of Pentacles. It looks like maybe finances, but it doesn't have to be. The Ten of Pentacles is what it is. You know, it could be a legacy, a family legacy. It could be, you know, you've been taking over the reins of the family business, or you're starting your own business, or you're building a family structure. This could be a community, a social community, or something like that. You know, you could be working on building something for your future here. And it's a very heavy energy. It's, you know, it feels like this is your most important focus, you know, family life, your stability in that family, of whether that's a social circle or whatever this is. And it's followed by the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is a very logical card. It is, I lead by logic. You know, I see something I want, I make a plan, and I move forward to it. and but you're still kind of in this guarded, maybe reserved type of energy here with the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands says, I've got, I had some battles under my belt, and this really kind of talks about internal conflict. This Five of Wands there, so I feel like maybe you put off some kind of a, an emotional conflict, maybe for fear of this involving this this stability, and it's got you kind of guarded. Yeah, and it's followed by the Four of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles talks about kind of this clinging on to, holding on to something. And I feel like maybe that's an emotional side. Maybe we got somebody who is, my throat just kind of cleared, got a little scratchy there. So I feel like maybe this is a kind of in the throat chakra. Maybe you're wanting to speak about it, but you don't. Maybe you're not very. Maybe you are kind of an avoidant type person. You don't really voice yourself. You kind of do, you show by action, and that is that's definitely showing up by the, the Ten of Pentacles here. You and the Knight especially. I let my actions speak instead of my words, and it's left you kind of in this emotionally avoidant type scenario. But you're still holding on to some kind of aspect here. So in the future here, let's move over here to the left side. In the future, we've got the Hermit in the reverse position. Now, the Hermit in the upright is obviously, it's an introspection, deep introspection. But we're still seeing kind of that avoidant, putting off some kind of communication perhaps, or you're not allowing your emotions to, maybe come to the surface about something here. And it's followed by the Five of Pentacles in the upright, and then after that, the World in the reverse position. So the Five of Pentacles talks about kind of like a, this, and I'm not, don't mean this in an offensive way, but it's this beggar attitude, kind of like what I'm getting is I need help, but I'm too afraid to ask for it, even though they know, all they got to do is walk right inside this building right here. It's symbolizing of a church scenario, but there's help in there, there's peace, but they're not sure that they want to let their guards down. And I feel like this is kind of an attitude of maybe, um, it's kind of selfish. It's kind of like, in a way, but I think it's to protect your emotional, um, maybe your emotions coming to the surface, which, like I said, kind of showed by the Tower in the reverse position. Um, and in doing this, putting off this energy of holding on and maybe being very guarded with that, has caused something in your world to be okay. Here we go. This tells a little bit better story. Okay. You're considering whether or not you should allow somebody in your life in a relationship. There's a beginning and then there's an ending. Okay. And this feels like maybe you feel like maybe something's over with the World card in the reverse position. Um, we'll take a look at the World card in the reverse position. Okay. Incomplete, stagnation, a lack of closure. Yeah. Unfinished business and a disconnection and uncertainty. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I feel like maybe you feel like something is over and you're not sure because you still have this nostalgia. It's the Six of Cups over here. Um, Scorpio, you know, I kind of feel like, let's see, I kind of feel like this is like a reflection of hidden truths, maybe some shadow work. Um, maybe you're kind of putting off maybe a transformation in your life. Maybe you are very well established and you're really kind of holding on to, um, holding on to, clinging on really to the, maybe the patterns that what got you there, your success, your what you considered to be successful. So when people come into your social circle, you feel really like on edge that anything that tips you from that, it could be seen as like, um an enemy, so to speak, and you would just soon, squish it now before you know, before it grows on you. Um, and because you don't want to be captive, there's not a negotiation on this. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like that's what this energy is telling me here. Um, but you came to the cards for a reason. So there's something that you are looking for, and I would like to know what that is. So we're going to use this cauldron, okay? And the cauldron's going to help pull out maybe some things that you can't ask, or the hard questions that you're afraid to ask, or maybe that, not that you're ever afraid, because I don't believe that Scorpio is afraid of anything. But um, maybe you're wondering about, yeah, I see the Knight of Cups over there. So you're wondering whether or not this nostalgia that you feel possibly for, it could be a focus on a new energy, like a new project. Um, like for instance, you're trying to branch out in your business, and there's a kind of an imbalance that's taking place. Perhaps a new partnership is coming in, and the reason I ask that or say that is because the Two of Cups is also in the reverse. So maybe you're considering bringing somebody in to help with your legacy, because we see the Ten of Pentacles over here, and that talks about legacy also. So maybe you're considering bringing somebody in. Somebody's made an offer to you that sounds intriguing, but yet maybe it challenges some internal questions about this, and you're asking, so if I do this, I'll have to let my guard down. I'll have to communicate better. Maybe I've been told I'm not the great socialite, but and then I'll have to share ideas, because the Two of Cups is the card of sharing. And so I feel like these are your questions. If I allow this Knight of Cups offering to come in, which this could be a relationship, but I kind of feel like this is more, since we see a lot of pentacles, and the pentacles are indicative of, a stable foundation structure, boundaries, financial means, and I feel like whoever I'm speaking to, you've got it together when it comes to the finances, but I think maybe you're even questioning yourself a little bit, because we have the Queen of Cups energy, and that says maybe I need to look a little bit deeper into a relationship wise, okay? And that could be, like I said, your internal, the reason I feel like you're so very logical. And we saw that with the Knight of Pentacles here. You're a very logical structure. So, like I said, anything comes into you don't accept a quick answer. You like to ponder your questions. You like to sit within for a while, and you have to have a plan. So maybe there's something about this new partnership, or this new unity or union that's coming to place, has got you a little bit withheld. But I feel like there's a sense of, yeah, okay, so we got the Ace of Cups, so it's a divine partnership, and the Fool card shows us that there is a new beginning here. The Ace of Cups is relationships. It could be an emotional divine experience, awakening, and maybe there's something awakening in you, and it's got you questioning. It's kind of making you feel this older, with the Six of Cups over here in this far left side, especially in the fourth position, showing that this is what you've grounded yourself into. You're kind of remembering what it used to feel like, is what I feel. Maybe you had your head down for so long that you didn't have time for relationships or a partnership like this, and it's kind of bringing back some memories, and that kind of throws you into a little bit of an imbalance. But what I'm seeing is with this Ace of Cups, it's a divine offering, and it feels, to me, yeah, like what it could be, the possibilities, and it looks to be the Fool, a journey, another journey, and it's got you wondering, you know, again, we see the Pentacles with the Seven of Pentacles. These are all the things that you've established. This is your workforce. This is your ideas that manifested into reality for you, and you've planted another idea here with this new journey. Okay, this new seed that's planted, and now you're just wondering. And the reason I say that is because it's followed by the moon. So the moon kind of gives us this transformation. You know that when you walk through these gates, you're unsure. Okay, and it's hindsight. You don't know, from the past you can use hindsight as an example, but this is a new transformation. So you're just kind of wondering whether or not you make this move. Maybe this is just confirmation that this is what you're feeling. Whoever this is for, I feel like I'm not even sure I can give you advice. I feel a little uneducated in this part. My definition of success is that my family loves me, that my people that I surround myself with, um, they respect me for who I am personally, and that's just my personal opinion of success. Financially speaking, I've never had the relationship with, say, finances, that a person who works on Wall Street, just as an example, or anybody who's grown a business and they're making three-figure salaries a year. That's never been like my priority. It's not that that could be looked that could be judged. That'd be something that I have definitely tried to work on, but it's like, and I feel like maybe if there was a correlation between, say, my, for instance, and yours, that now you have been established, but yet you're still lacking a little bit on the emotional stability side. Saying, not that you're weak in that department, but as far as being able to allow other people into your circle safely so that you feel comfortable and good, I kind of feel like that's something that maybe the cards are trying to call out for you. This could be a feminine, or this could be a masculine, because there it's kind of a balanced energy there, and I feel like that. So this could apply to both male, female, he, she, they, it doesn't matter. But I just feel like maybe this is confirmation for you to say, and not that you would ask, Scorpio, because I don't feel like you're that type of person. The Pentacles were very heavy there, and somebody's grown a legacy, and they're just wondering whether or not to make this decision. And I feel like it's we could look at the cards again, and I feel like that um, I feel like maybe you can let your guard down. I'm not trying to give you any advice, and all of a sudden this thing falls apart tomorrow, but I don't believe so, because I don't feel like that you would ever allow anything like that to happen. But I feel there's that with the Six of Cups like that. I feel there's this nostalgia that it's kind of reminding you of some things. And me personally, I like to embrace the new opportunities. And we saw that with the Fool card there. So I like to embrace, uh, you know, I like to embrace the Fool. I've always been the Fool. I love the journey. I don't believe you're the type of person that gets too close to the edge. Me, on the other hand, I went right straight over that bad boy, but that's just me personally. And like I said, I feel like maybe that is kind of where you're at. Do you go ahead and go over the edge? And I feel like the Moon card right here, it's the shadow aspects. Maybe there's a part of you that is trying to come out in that, for instance, and um, so I would just take your time with it. I would say a new experience, especially if you're already established. The worst that could happen is it not work, right? You know, if I overinvest in this, do I lose everything? Now, those are lots of things that you can weigh out, but I don't feel like you're that type of person. I feel like any kind of new experience for you is just going to help you expand, help you grow, and I feel like that's a very important part of our. You took a lot of risks to get to where you're at to stabilize like this. So Scorpio, it's pretty damn cool in my opinion. I mean, I'm impressed. I hope to someday be in a position where I have to feel like I can trust another person to join in, and I'm looking forward to that. So try to look forward to it instead of maybe pushing away, out of that social circle. And you've had your head down for a long time, and you've manifested something that's stable, that the rest of the world only dreams about. So maybe now it's time to, while we are working on our finances, now it's time for you to work on relationships and communion with others, reciprocating communion with others. So anyway, it's a pretty awesome read. So I appreciate you letting me do this. So Scorpio, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope maybe this was confirmation. And again, hopefully you'll come back and let me know how it went. So, all right, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.